Yes, this is me, Hudson George, sitting in a coffee shop, you know what I'm saying? In a coffee shop. So anyway, furthermore, sitting in McDonald's. So I'm just doing a little live, you know, no big thing. My topic today is the Lacret family. Now, the Lacrets are not new to Grenada politics. That's my life today. They're known in Grenada politics. So, my life is about the Lacret family. Now, Junior, this young dude who get himself in the NDC party and he get kicked out, Jonathan, he is not the first Lacret involved in Grenada politics. And the Lacret are known in sports too. So a little bit I know about the Lacret, I'll say in my little video now, you know what I'm saying? So my personal experience with the Lacrets too. I remember in my youth, as a Jewel movement supporter, I went in the Market Square to a Jewel meeting. I remember that time Cyrus Vance, U.S. Secretary of State, visited Grenada. And at that time, the Jewel was in alliance in Parliament, you know, the alliance movement. I think that he won 6 seats in Parliament. So they wanted to show journalists how popular they are in Grenada because Cyrus Vance was visiting. He was the representing something with the OS state. Secretary of State for the OS, or American Secretary of State overall, or with the OS, or something like that. Well, anyway, it was something to tie with the Organization of American States, which is the continent and the Caribbean. So we went in meeting in town, in the Market Square. And as a young man, you know, we were not violent in the sense as youths today. We didn't used to carry weapons. But we were fearless in our own way too. So I went to meeting in the Market Square, Jewel meeting. And we came under a barrage of automatic rifle. We were the first set of Grenadians that faced automatic rifles in the Market Square. 2 soldiers were shooting. Those days, Gary was in power. One of the soldiers was an Abraham, very intelligent guy. And I think his father had a big job in the government. I wonder if his father was in the Public Service Commissioner or something like that. But anyway, his father was a big boy in government. I happened to meet his father already. Mr. Abraham was a nice man when you talk to him. He's a nice man. But anyway, let me make a long story short with the senior Abraham man. All I could say there were jobs in the city, and a couple of us they apply and we had to go to him. And he told some of us, we come out in area in Grenada, we have a lot of nutmeg. So we don't need to come and work in the city of St. George. As young men, we could make money. Maybe we parents own nutmeg plantation. Because I'm from Hermitage, so he thought I own a nutmeg plantation. My father have some nutmeg trees, but I don't own a plantation. Well, anyway, cut the story short. In the market square now, in that jewel movement meeting, those days was the alliance in parliament. Abraham, the soldier Abraham, who said his father, I think, was the public service commissioner. And a Lacret guy, a soldier, they were trained in Chile, and they were shooting automatic rifle at us. I remember when I come up in the country, for days we still smell gunpowder. Bullet hitting by right, plap, 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 plap. I mean, I was young, I remember that good. You know? I remember once the crowd run up on a street, the street where Evans had his, Mr. Evans had a shop in town close to Maria Scott. That street run up at the bottom of Market Hill. Then we went up on a place and there was a funeral, the crowd running to the funeral and gunshot licks up. Well, anyway, those days we the young, and we were not coward. We didn't afraid to death those days. Even though we did get shot, we didn't care. Well, anyway, so that was the first experience Lacret in politics. So that meeting was broken up and so. Because what happened, the Jewel or the Alliance wanted to show journalists the popularity. Because they're in parliament. They won 6 seats in parliament. But then I remember a Lacret guy who played cricket for Grenada and I think for Windward Island. He was a good cricketer. So that's 2 Lacret. Then back to politics. I came across a Lacret guy in the time of the PRG reign. He was a PRA, stationed on the fort. He was a very nice guy, very, very nice guy. I still remember we used to go down on the fort sometime. Those days they say political education. So you raise a jewel and the PRG come in power. And the oral guys in the army trying to brainwash soldiers. But they couldn't brainwash me. That is the first time I get to know Peter David and Ewart Lane and them trying to brainwash people. So anyway, I won't go into that. So from there on, I realized what was going on in the army. But that Lacret guy was a soldier on the fort. And he was a very nice guy. That Lacret guy and a guy that he called Sergeant Let from the Point. And we used to call him Jesus. They're still in my memory when we go down on the fort. They say political education. You raise a jewel and they were trying to brainwash you into some other kind of politics. And I used to argue, I never accept it. So this is why I will never support Peter David in politics, never. Because I know he's not real. He's a fake with the new brand politics. So anyway, that Lacret guy on the fort was a nice guy, very comedian, kind of nice and friendly. And Sergeant Let, Jesus, they used to keep us alive on the fort when we go down there. So now we have Jonathan, Lacret end up in the NDC party. So when I see this new Lacret guy coming in politics, his family name came back. But I don't know the history of the Lacrets in St. George's. But it seems that maybe there mightn't be perhaps a wealthy family in the town, but there seems to be a black family with a name in the city, or they make their name. And I see, well, he was on Bob's program and people giving our views on what happened to him in the NDC. But me, as a street smart Grenadian who understand Grenadian politics. Maybe some of the things he say on the Bob show, maybe he's not lying. Maybe he's telling the truth. And maybe he's a victim of perhaps not belonging to the political class that influencing the NDC government in the St. George area. Perhaps they seem like an outsider. Perhaps he's not a bad person. I don't know, you know. You understand? So that's why I do that little live. He could be they don't want him. Just like how when the Jewel movement, the PRG took over Grenada and they get lots of weapons from Cuba, they didn't want the Jewel movement boys and country people in the revolution. And the tongue people take it over. The GBSS and PBC guys kick out the Jewel people. So that Lacret guy could be perhaps they don't want him. Perhaps they don't want him. He is not from the St. Paul's Pass. He don't belong to the St. Paul's Pass. It could be that. Maybe he's not a bad person. But this is Grenada. Grenada have so many different classes and groups of people. When you join an organization, you must really know what you're joining. Like me, I don't quick to join nothing, but I give my views. He could be a victim, and maybe he's not a bad person. I don't know. But then again, he is a person in politics and also a pastor. And he is justifying why he should be in politics and being a pastor. I can't say he's wrong for that. We're living in a democracy. But he could be a victim. Anyway, the Lacret family now has a name in politics. It's a black family from St. George. Maybe not from the big money class. But they're all there. From the time of the Gary Army to sports, cricket, the PRG Army, and now the NDC. Anyway, this is me, Hudson George. I gone here. As I said, I move with space and time. This is all I have to say. I gone till I come again.